What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggle's TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back and we give you the last 7 days of tech news in one single video. And we covered the gamut of the Galaxy Z Fold 3 from the price drop to the specs on there to everything about the phone. Surface Duo 2 potentially having an under panel camera and so much more. So we'll enjoy this week's episode and we'll see you in the next one. One story today, and it reaffirms what we've been hearing about some devices that are going to launch in August, and it adds more of those devices in there and adds more weight to what potentially is going to happen in terms of quantity of these said devices. Now, one of the devices we're talking about is this one, the Galaxy Z Fold 3, and so many more. So let's get into the tweet at hand. So this tweet's coming from Roland Quand, who has an excellent track record. He's saying the Z Fold 3 and the Z Flip 3 mass production is in full swing by now. We've heard that. That isn't anything new. We know that, and him adding to that is amazing to hear because, like I said, he has a great track record. Galaxy Watch 4 models and Buds Pro 2, he meant Buds 2, not Buds Pro 2, are being made in large quantities as well. So Galaxy Watch 4, Buds 2, huge quantities of these. And then the S21 Fan Edition had a short period of a few 10,000 parts made. Now it's MIA. Now he does go into say that the S21 Fan Edition is not canceled. We've heard it's kind of like delayed, and that's kind of what he's going at. So ultimately, with all of that information in that tweet, you're looking at a large amount of quantity for all of those devices. It's kind of surprising in a way because the pandemic it's not over, but it's really in control in some countries, especially here in America, and things are opening up. People are going back to work, blah, 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 blah. Do they think that people are going to just like start spending money like crazy on phones and things like that because they feel like a new rejuvenated lease on life, where they're like, oh, I'm alive again, I can go outside, and now I want to spend money like crazy again? Or maybe they were already doing it, but I don't know. I can't really think of a good reason why they are making potentially a lot more quantity than they did in the previous generation of these devices. Do they think the Galaxy Watch 4 is going to sell like crazy because it's going to have Wear OS in it? Do they think the Z Flip 3 and Fold 3 are going to sell like crazy because they have lower prices and more features and more modern type features in there? I don't know. It's a good question. First story of the day is about the AMD Exynos Samsung processor, and it looked like it was going to be exclusive just for Samsung Galaxy devices, but it doesn't really look like that anymore. So check out this tweet. The tweet comes from Chun. He got this information off of Weibo, and he's saying, looks like AMD Exynos is not Samsung exclusive, according to this guy, which is a pretty reliable BBK leaker. Vivo has plans to release a phone using the Exynos SoC equipped with the AMD GPU. So if you were curious and maybe you didn't want to get a Samsung variant of the phone, it looks like you'll be able to get other variants of phones that have this same exact processor. Will we see this on more devices, especially here in America, from other bigger companies? Vivo, you can't really get that phone here in America unless you import it. But yeah, very interesting stuff to see that processor is going to go over to Vivo. And if I am not mistaken, I feel like Vivo's used Exynos processors in some of their other phones as well. If you know, put it in the comments down below. I can't remember right off the top of my head. Next up, if you have a Samsung device, don't forget Summer of Samsung, where they're giving you like free gifts, is going on right now. All you do is open up your Samsung Members app. So look through all of your apps, or if you don't have it, download it from the Google Play Store, Samsung Members app. Go in there, and then you're gonna tap on benefits at the top there. See if you have anything in there. They just launched a bunch of free new things that you can take advantage of. It's live right now. Next up is about the Google app. If you use the Google app on your phone and it's crashing all the time, you cannot get it to work, there's a fix for it. But this is what you got to do. And included in that is the Google Discovery app. When you go to your home screen and you swipe over from left to the right, and you see all that Google feed right there, if that's crashing as well, this is what you're going to do. So if you just have a plain old regular Android phone, any pretty much Android phone, follow these steps right here. Launch the Settings app, Apps and Notifications, see all apps, find and tap the Google app, and then tap Storage and Cache, and then clear the storage from there, and you should be good to go. If you have a Galaxy device, you're gonna swipe down from the top, go to settings, go into apps, look for the Google app in here, should be somewhere in here. Google, tap that, and then go to storage, and then you're gonna see clear cache. Tap that at the bottom there, and then you should be good to go. If you open it back up, it should work for you. Otherwise, you'll probably just have to wait. Well, I know you will. You just have to wait for an update to be pushed out, and it'll fix it as well. Last story of the day has to do with Microsoft Surface, and included in the Microsoft Surface is the Microsoft Surface Duo, which was that dual screen phone with kind of upper end specs from like the previous year, and the cameras are kind of whack, and it was an interesting phone to say the least. And it looks like the Microsoft Surface Duo 2 could be getting some cool technology built into it, kind of akin to what we're getting with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Check this out. This is coming from Let's Go Digital. They're saying that the Microsoft Surface with 4 under-display camera sensors, Microsoft develops under-screen camera with 4 color filters for Surface devices. When the camera is turned off, an adjustable logo or avatar will be displayed. And it looks something like this, where you will, at the top, the camera will be hidden, but ultimately you'll have when you're not using the camera, it looks like a rear-facing logo. Well, actually, when you are using the camera, a logo will show up on there, but ultimately the cameras will lie underneath it. And very interesting stuff, and we could potentially see this on the Microsoft Surface Duo 2. I hope we do, because I'm kind of excited about that phone still, even though I was a little underwhelmed with the Surface Duo 1. But yeah, I'm digging it. And, you know, they're pushing the envelope. Why not? Today's stories, we have information about the Galaxy watches and also about the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Let's talk about the watches first. So, as you know, the Galaxy Watch 4 and Active 4 are going to run Wear OS, which is Google's operating system for watches. And ultimately, it's going to have Google Assistant and all the Google built-in apps, but also it'll have some of the functionality left over and apps from the Samsung side as well. So it's like kind of like a melting pot of both in there. But let's talk about it running Wear OS. His first tweet comes from Ice Universe, who says the new Wear OS makes the Galaxy Watch 4 very smooth, but there are so many bugs that engineers are working on right now. So that's amazing to see. It's already a smooth watch, but if you can make that even smoother, I think it's a huge, huge jump in the right direction for a watch. The next one comes from Chun. Chun gives us tons of information. Starting off with the Galaxy Watch Active 4 and Watch 4, he's saying no major design changes. So it's going to look very similar to what we've seen in the past. He also says no rotation bezel on the Active 4. So if you love that rotating bezel, you do not want to get the Active 4. A Watch 4 still has the rotation bezel, which I love it, works great. I kind of got used to it without it being on the Active 4. It had like that digital one. I assume they're probably gonna keep the same thing going on right there, but still, having the rotating bezel is a great thing, and it's good to see that it's staying with the Watch 4. The other piece of this, same color options as this year's Galaxy Z Wear OS. So you're looking at, you know, very similar colors to what the Galaxy Z line is going to have, and then obviously it's gonna run Wear OS. The other part of that, you can see at the very end, Z Fold 3, this is talking about the dust and water resistance. It's gonna have splash resistance potentially in the works, but don't expect any IP certification for now though. I can't imagine that they're gonna add IP certification later with the Z Fold line of phones. So it looks like we're gonna get splash resistance. Unfortunately, there was some rumors going around that it would potentially have like an IP67 or 68 water resistance on there, so you could literally put this underwater and use it. Maybe that still will come true. Obviously, these are rumors, so we might see that, but it sounds like it's just gonna be, you know, put a splash of water on it and it'll still be fine, which this one kinda, I feel like you could splash the water. I've had water splash on the screen and stuff, and I've took it out in the rain a little bit, and it doesn't rain that hard out here, but you know, just slight water splash on here, and it's been absolutely fine. So hopefully there's a definitely an improvement with the Z Fold 3 overall. But yeah, kind of a letdown if it doesn't end up having that complete IP67 or 68 water dust resistance. We have some absolute huge real stories about the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Fold 3 and exactly what they're going to look like, because we have official renders of these phones leaked out by Mr. Evan Blast. Before we jump into those, we're going to talk about One UI, so let's jump into that. This tweet comes from Ice Universe, who says One UI 3.5 does not exist. The rumor was that was going to launch with the Galaxy Z Fold 3, but as you can see it by the next line, the Galaxy Z Fold 3 will launch with One UI 3.1.1. The reason for that, it's not going to be a huge overall different looking update for the OS, so they're just going to keep it at One UI 3.1.1. So you can see Samsung's S series will open with the beta of One UI 4.0 next month. So 4.0 launching next month with beta, and then beyond that, 3.1.1 will launch officially with the Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3. And then you would guess that 4.0 is probably going to launch sometimes towards the end of this year, fully, out of beta. Drum roll, please. Let's jump into the last story of the day. Again, an official render of the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Fold 3. This is like official marketing material. Let's take a closer look because there's something missing that looks like it should have been missing. If you get my drift, we'll talk about that, go into it. So here we are, these coming from Evan Blass. First, let's take a look at the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Flip 3. You can see them side by side with each other. First, let's look at the Flip 3 on the right there. That Flip 3 has a bigger display on the outside. It looks like it'll show, some notifications on there, kind of what it does now, but it's just gonna be bigger. And then you also get the two cameras on the back with the flash below that, the two-toned color there. That's looking like it's probably gonna be that cream color that's been rumored to be coming out. On the Z Fold 3, if you look at this, you can see ultimately it looks, design-wise looks very close to what you get with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. And if you look in the top right, it looks like you can see the camera. This is getting kind of weird. Now, I don't know if Samsung is showing this because we are no longer getting the under-display camera, or they're showing where the camera will exist, or if you'll actually be able to see the camera. I mean, we've had tons of rumors saying that the under-display camera is a real thing, but from these official marketing materials, it looks like you can see the camera. It's just kind of a weird design. And then the last photo shows something that we're dying to see, and this is gonna be what the S Pen will look like with the Galaxy Z Fold 3 on here, and it looks, very similar to that rounded S Pen that we've seen before. And at the top there it says Fold Edition on the pen, so that'll be the Fold Edition S Pen compatible with that. You can see the cameras on the back there, the 3 cameras, and then the flash on the back, which design wise looks almost identical to the Z Fold 2, except the flash is at the bottom rather than on the right of the top camera. And then you see it in flex mode, showing off the design of the screen itself, and you can still see the camera in the top right on that big screen, which it was supposed to be missing. It's funny how the official marketing renders of the Galaxy Z Fold 3 leave us with more of a question on that camera at the top. Are we gonna be able to see it physically, or is it gonna be hidden? I think it's gonna be sold as an under panel camera, but I think ultimately the way it's really going to be is that you'll be able to see it at different angles, kind of like you can with the crease now. You hold the Z Fold 2 at a certain angle, you can see the crease. I think the camera will be the same way. I think it'll be underneath the display, but I think in certain lighting situations, you'll still be able to see that camera. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S21 Fan Edition. If you've been following along, this phone was due to come out in about August, and it's been delayed, and we didn't really know when it's going to be delayed until, and it looks like the absolute earliest it's going to come out is leaking out from a Korean news site, and they're saying that the release of the Galaxy S21 Fan Edition in the US and Europe is due to come in October due to the shortage of semiconductors. Now, October is a couple of extra months away from what they originally were planning on. But again, that's the absolute earliest. There's been rumors it might get delayed until November or December. And this is gonna be their mid-tier, high-tier, kind of in the middle of right there. That rhymed, wasn't that cool? Of phones. So, if you're a fan of the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition, the S21 Fan Edition is gonna come out a little bit later. There's also rumors it might come out only in a few places, like 2 places, AKA US and Europe. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's looking that somewhere in October, November, December time range is when it will actually be released. Next up, as you can see from the headline, Ice Universe puts a little tweet out there saying Samsung deliberately rendered the camera, which is interesting. If you saw my show yesterday, talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 3, where you can actually see the under display camera in the top right. It's like Samsung didn't want to hide it. And we kind of talked about it towards the end of the video yesterday where like, are they showing it so you don't get concerned that there might not be a camera there? Like they want to show you that there's a camera there, or is it that we will see it at different angles? I still think it's the latter. I think it will be, for the most part, hidden, but I think it's gonna be like that little, you know, crevice in the middle of the screen that we have now where you can see it at different angles. Otherwise, it's kind of hidden. I think the camera will be something similar, but it's just totally interesting that they put it in their marketing material so that you can see it. And the last story of the day, also about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3. S Pen, obviously, we've seen marketing materials showing it. We've heard rumors and leaks for months at this point saying that the Galaxy Z Fold 3 will have S Pen support. And then just to add even more fuel to this burning fire, you have the FCC now here in America showing off that the Galaxy Z Fold 3 will also sport S Pen support. And the little blurb from the FCC is that, you can see right here, this little blurb, the UWB ultra wideband DisplayPort, S Pen, and wireless charging. So they list off some of the key features of the phone, the radios and things like that of what it will have, the features showing off that, again, S Pen support will be included with the phone. Now, will the S Pen come with the phone? That's probably the better question. Probably not. It seems like it'll be an accessory that you can buy offhand. I feel like it's gonna be probably one of the free gifts that you end up getting for the phone. I think they'll be like, oh, we'll throw in an S Pen. If you're gonna pre-order, we'll give you the S Pen. I think that's what's gonna ultimately happen with this phone. We got two stories today about two products coming out very soon. And these are two first real looks at two of these products. They are the Galaxy Buds 2 and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. Let's first look at the Galaxy Watch 4, which will run Wear OS. This is a departure from them running Tizen. So let's take a look. So it's gonna come in multiple colors. All these different watch straps, you can see white, green, black, red, yellow. You get black watches, you have silver watches, you get bronze, and so forth. You can see the different watch faces that you can have on there for the new Galaxy Watch 4. We also can just, you're just looking at the design of the watch in general is going to be not a departure at all from what we've seen in the past with other Galaxy watches over the last couple of years. So if you like that design, the circular design, the buttons on the side there, and then ultimately it would run Wear OS, which is going to have the Google operating system on there, allowing you to run Google apps. This should be a fun watch. I'm looking at getting this one. I'll probably end up getting the biggest one that you can get, which should be 44 millimeters. They'll also come up with a 40 millimeter version as well. 5 ATM, military standard 810G durability, Gorilla Glass DX Plus protection, and the Galaxy Watch 4 potentially might be announced on June 28th, which is literally next week. Lastly, Galaxy Buds 2, which will not replace the Galaxy Buds Pro or the Buds Live, but they're really the successor to the original Galaxy Buds and Galaxy Buds Plus. Here's the Galaxy Buds 2. Let's check these out. So remember, these are going to probably be about $100, and the official renders show off the complete design and color options. The Buds come in white, black, purple, and green colors, and the Galaxy Buds 2 are expected to also launch on June 28th. And you can see from this photo right here, you can see the green and the white. And what the big thing on these ones is the cases for all of these are going to be white, but on the inside, that's where you're gonna see the different colors for the Buds. And then the other color that you're gonna also see on here is the black and the purple. For me, I would probably, if I do end up getting these, would either choose the green or the purple. I do like the purple the best, but I don't think I've ever had green headphones, so probably just go with those. We have a kind of slow news day today, but I want to run through what to expect if you're going to get the Galaxy Z Fold 3 in terms of specs, price, features, things like that. We've kind of done this in the past, and it's changed a little bit since I've last done it. And the Galox has been nice enough to put out a couple of tweets that have detailed basically every rumor and leak that we've heard about and seen so far. So let's talk about it. All right, so let's start off with the big meaty parts first. So the Samsung Galaxy. So let's start off with some big meaty parts. This is a little breakdown of the Galaxy Z Fold 2 versus the Z Fold 3. So the numbers on the left versus the one on the right will be the Z Fold 3. So on the left here, we got a 6.2 inch, 60 inch with the Z Fold 2, and then the Z Fold 3 will have a new 6.23 inch, 120 hertz AMOLED display. And then On the Z Fold 3 again, the big display on the inside is gonna be 7.55 inch, and it's gonna be made of glass versus kind of like a plastic type feeling on there. Again, 120 hertz, QXGA plus AMOLED display. You're looking at the processor bumping up now to Snapdragon 888. 12 gigabytes of RAM, which would stay current with what we've got currently on these phones. And then storage, looking at 256 or 512 gigabytes. 256 is the normal number in most parts of the world right now. The battery is going to see a little bit of a decrease down to 4380 milliamps, but hopefully with a newer processor and improved software overall, we should see hopefully a better performance, or at least similar performance to what we saw before. In terms of colors, you're going to get the Phantom Black, Phantom Green, and Phantom White colors for the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Cameras, you're gonna have a triple 12 megapixel setup on the back there. Unfortunately, does not look like we'll probably end up getting a huge zoom lens, which a little bit of a disappointment. I don't use it all the time, but it would be nice to be able to get that zoom lens, you know, for moon shots and things like that. The front selfie camera will be a 12 megapixel and then a 16 megapixel under display camera on the bigger part of the display. And remember, that 16 megapixel under display camera, there's been rumors going back and forth that it won't be that amazing. So just keep that in mind. It might not look as good as previous phones have had cameras. The S Pen support will be there, so we should be able to get full S Pen support on this Galaxy Z Fold 3. I would also expect the S Pen to have Bluetooth support so that you can use it as a camera shutter button or as a director of like moving, doing the motions in the air to control your phone. In terms of folds, like the durability, it's looking like the Z Fold 3 is rated up to 220,000 folds versus 200,000 folds on the Z Fold 2. So it's kind of nice. It'll get a little bit more durability. You're looking at the charging staying at 25 watt charging and 15 watt wireless. The flex mode is going to upgrade to 2.0, not too sure what exactly what you're going to get extra with the flex mode 2.0, which is basically when you kind of bend the phone in half a little bit but keep it open. It's going to have a smaller crease on the Z Fold 3. It's going to have a lighter weight at 269 grams, so about 13 grams lighter than the previous generation. Stereo speakers, it would be nice if they had quad speakers. Price-wise, there's rumors going back and forth, but I think the general consensus is the 256 would go for about $15.99 or $16.99, somewhere in that range, and then the 512 would go for about $17.49, maybe all the way up to $18.49, and then there potentially would be a special edition that would go for about $3,000, which is absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. Now, overall, the Z Fold 3 is looking to be probably the most polarizing Z Fold phone as of at this time being released, because it seems like every iteration has been an upgrade, and in some regards you could probably look at the Z Fold 3 not being an upgrade. It's got a slightly smaller battery, not really anything that big. The camera underneath the larger display is supposed to, at least from rumors anyway, not be as good as, say, this camera that's on right now. I mean, but you're also getting some other upgrades. You're getting the S Pen, you're getting a newer processor, potentially more storage and options on there. Seeing no camera potentially on the main display. So like there's upgrades to be had for the phone, but there's also maybe a little bit of downgrade. The cameras being only 12 megapixels across the board.